Tonight on Button Mashers, the ponies of Brony Nerds and Gamers are joined by Abdullah Kassem to talk about Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo's E3 coverage. Episode 3 starts now.
Welcome, every pony. My name is Drummy, and this is episode 3 of the Button Mashers podcast. Woo!
Put your arms down, jackass.
Oh, I am Drummy here in the studio audience, and as always, I am joined to my left by Don.
Hey, guys.
And then, of course, in her new studio location, as always, we have Steph Minded.
Hey! That was my sassy introduction.
And special guest today, Abdullah Kassem.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Abdullah Kassem is an artist, a friend, and a designer. Abdullah, give us the chance to let you plug your stuff. If you have a website for the people at home.
Right now, actually working on the website. I self-published a book on world building and basically it's got a concept art book and recreating like a world that we find in the year 2100. I love games. I love looking at the story of games. How games play is also very fun for me because it gives me like an interactive experience with like the story's interaction with the gameplay and why the gameplay makes sense for this game. But yeah, I'm an artist, concept artist. I'm also a graphic designer and illustrator. I graduated recently from the Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design. And yeah, that's a little rundown of myself.
That's one hell of a resume.
Yeah, yes,
Oh,
it is. So
thank you.
If I wanted to point on the internet basis, if I wanted to point people at you and say, "Go check this guy out. He's pretty awesome," where could I send them to? Do you have like?
Yes, I do. Right now I have a blog. Like you could take a look at all of my process work, and I'm slowly uploading stuff from the book. Pages and stuff like that. Please visit me at chasmworks.tumblr.com. I believe that's how that link works.
Yeah, is that chasm as in Kaseem?
No, yes, it is chasm as in CHASM.
All right, CHA.
That's probably right.
Yep, chasm works.
Okay, I misspelled works.
Yeah, just WRKS.
All right, well, there's going to be a link in the description, so everyone who's listening to the podcast, you can check that out at the end of the video. For now, let's go ahead and jump into our, the bulk. But first, as we always do on the show, or at least we're always doing for the third time, it's time to start with an icebreaker question of the day. Today's icebreaker question:
Can you profit like it's hot? I'm sorry, I pulled up something weird on Tumblr for Drummy just because I can.
Don, you're literally the definition of an asshole.
How many times do I have to repeat myself? I am the asshole.
You're literally open up the book, look for asshole. There it is.
I don't know. I think he's the definition of ADD as far as I'm concerned.
ADOS. ADOS.
You're not nearly murderous enough to be ADOS.
I thought you'd never see Ooh Shiny?
Oh, that's
When did I get shiny things in my hand?
Oh God! Please don't bring in any Wildstar references. It's like
Any
that's
what references?
like in
I've been using this joke since I was 15.
like right now, Wildstar. There's like you can choose a class and like a race and then like your job or like your profession or something. What was it? It's called Path. There we go. you can choose your path. My path is an explorer, and the person I report to is like this little gremlin little guy that's like, it does this. Yes, get me the shiny things. Do all the shiny things. And it's just like, they just want to collect like all the weirdest shit. And like, I just got really sick of that in WildStar, and I've just started WildStar, so I mean,
You're already sick.
Well, that is actually pretty great, Abdullah, that you talked about that, because my icebreaker question of the day is, tell us about a game that you're right now playing. So, Abdullah, you've been playing WildStar.
right. Like, I'll be honest, I'm not super far in WildStar just yet. As far as I'm playing it, and like I've played World of Warcraft and a few other like MMORPGs, and I have to say, like, the world crafted in WildStar, for what it is, it's amazing. It's so fun to just look at all the lore, and I should sure as hell think it's a lot more interesting than World of Warcraft, because World of Warcraft's like, oh god, Thrall had a bitch fit again, or Hellscream has PMS and decided to shit blood all over the floor.
No. He's really summing up World of Warcraft.
No. That is fair. So, what you were talking about before, that it might not be that great. So, what's just in a quick summary? What's like a not so good thing about that game?
I guess if like the not so good thing about the game, like right now, my main character is Sinker Shot, and he's a spell slinger, and the way he plays, like the way I want to play this character is not the way he plays. Like, for example, like I want to move around and turn really easily as a spell slinger, but I just can't move as easily as I want it to be, and like I feel like some of the movements and the camera stuff is awkward.
Okay, so just some control issues. That
Just
that
a few.
seems fair.
It's a fair problem, you know, like you can't get everything right.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to Steph. Steph, what game have you been playing recently? Something new?
Something new. Oh god, that's a terrible thing to ask me.
All right, fair enough. You've probably been pretty busy, so you can include things from like at least several months ago, if you want.
The most recent game I've actually played and beat was Pokemon Snap. Not like back in like when I first got it. I just revisited it and started playing it and beat it for the first time because I wasn't capable as a child for some reason. And just because right now we're in the process of moving and unpacking everything, I haven't really had a chance to like get out and get a new game or download anything. So it's been just a bunch of like binge playing old N64 and Super Nintendo games just because right now I really don't have much. Like I really want to play the new Yoshi's Island for 3DS.
Okay, yeah.
So
but
good.
besides that, when was the last new game you've played? Do you remember what it was?
Last new game. Maybe like Rayman Legends.
Okay. All right. See, I've seen that. That's actually, you can get that on the PS4. And yeah. I keep saying, why would I want to get Rayman Legends? It's like an Xbox 360 game, you know,
yeah,
or a PS3 game. It's really old. Why would I want to get it for the PS4? Are you going to sell me? Are you going to sell me on Rayman Legends? Is there any reason for me to want to go out and buy it?
The reason, because the Rayman games, like from when you remember when you were younger, like they always had a quirky, fun aspect to them, but they never really felt special or they never really stood out. And especially once they went the Raving Rabbids route, like they totally dropped Rayman. But I love Rayman Legends and Rayman Origins because it's beautiful. It's 2D platforming similar to a Mario game, like a classic Mario game, but there's a few added tricks and just the artwork and the sound design sells the game alone. But you can also do a multiplayer that's fun, addictive. It's easy to get into. It's what everything you like about platformers just perfected, and it's just gorgeous to look at. It's just how Mario, like Mario's always going to be fun, but you're always expecting like Goombas and like mountains with eyes and stuff. And like I feel like Rayman Legends offers a totally new artistic design to that.
Not only that, I mean, a platformer on a non-Nintendo platform.
Yeah.
That is
Exactly.
kind of rare. I will give you
It
that.
relatively is, yeah.
For someone who may not own a Wii U and doesn't have Super Mario Brothers Wii U. Okay,
Yeah.
I can actually see why that would be a good buy. Don, what have you been playing that's new recently?
The new
Myself.
Yoshi's Island.
Ah.
It's loaded in my 3DS right now. My buddy is letting me borrow it. My only problem with it is, I should not, after the first world, have over 50 lives.
No, you should.
How can you
The
have-
game is ridiculously easy.
Wait,
Find
do
a
those-
part where you just
No. I'm running around and they got lives thrown in everywhere. I'm in World 5 with like 80-some lives. I mean, you could load it up and you don't believe me.
Well, Don, I'm not gonna call BS on that just because. Oh my gosh! So they're just throwing around lives. That's interesting.
But it's not that hard of a game, in my opinion.
You know,
I mean, some
like,
of the boss fights are a little challenging, but it's not like, oh god damn, that's near impossible.
Yeah, but I mean, at 80 lives, you just throw yourself at the monster and like.
That's what I've been doing. I've been running through the game going, I don't care if I die. I can die like 400 times and not give a shit.
you
Do you
know,
have to restart? Is it checkpoint based?
It's got checkpoints.
Okay. Is it good? Is it a good
Oh,
game?
yeah, I'm enjoying it. I wouldn't say it's better than the original Yoshi's Island, but it's fun.
Okay. All right.
I'm really mostly waiting for tomorrow when I can start playing Swordsman. That's the new MMO from Perfect World Entertainment. I got into the closed beta. Yeah, it's already downloaded, and I'm just waiting for it to be Monday.
you know, speaking of,
I picked up the pre-order of Watch Dogs on the PS4, and I've been playing. No, I haven't been playing it too much, but I have played quite a bit of it. I know Don. I was just taking a nap earlier, and Don was playing it as well.
Yeah.
And Don, you could disagree with me if you want, but I think it's a really good game, just not the perfect kind of game that it was built up as.
It's not perfect. Like for me, the hardest part of that game is fucking driving in that game. It feels damn near impossible to drive around.
oh, speaking of games that, you know, that should have come out already. Well, Watch Dogs already came out, but I actually got to play the Destiny alpha yesterday.
How is that?
Okay, it's like Borderlands and Halo had a love child, and it's called Destiny.
You already
It's-
turned me
it-
off when you mentioned Halo.
Honestly, it's not a bad thing. It took the good things from Halo and put it in this game.
So
Like
it took the only thing from one in the story.
No, I mean, like, the whole world of Destiny is fun. You know, it's actually really interesting. The art style's fantastic.
I've seen the artwork. It is fantastic.
I'm
It's-
sorry, Abdullah. You're not going to be able to convince Don of anything.
N-
He is a
I'm not trying- no, I'm not-
he is a completely stubborn asshole who is set dead in his beliefs.
Oh, no, that's fine. I'm not trying to convince him. I'm just trying to say about this game. It's, you know, like, everything in this world, like, the sun will, like, go down. Colors will change. You can pick up quests and side quests. And, you know, it really does play like if Halo was a MMORPG, you know, and it's just really fun, you know, to just shoot people or like shooting enemies. Like, you remember how in Halo, like, it'd be like, oh, look at me, I'm the Covenant, you should shoot me. Instead of that, they still kind of do the, oh, hey, look, I'm the Covenant, you should shoot me. But they have like a little level on top of them that's like a level 8, a level 9, or level 12.
Like Borderlands does.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And you're shooting them, and it's actually, it's harder to kill some of these enemies. And it's like, holy shit. Like, this is legitimately kind of hard. Like, this is challenging.
Does it scale for multiplayer, or is this the kind of game that if you don't have friends to play with, it's going to suck?
Honestly, you could either go either way. I mean, I had fun playing solo, but I think it would be a lot more fun if I had a team along with me that I knew.
Does the difficulty scale for multiplayer? I know me and Don, we have hey, hey, for everyone watching this channel, if you want to watch me and Don play Borderlands 2
And fail hardcore at it.
you can totally watch us do it. It's on this channel. We have a whole playlist. We're not playing it anymore because I don't want to play that game anymore. But we totally have a Let's Play of it. And if you want to see more of it, well, fuck you, but still.
Dude, no.
Subscribe to the channel enough and me and Drummy will probably pick it back up.
But no, that's pretty interesting. I think I have an invitation to the alpha as well.
You should play it. Play it if you have the invitation. Well, no, wait. Every PS4 person has the invitation.
Yes.
So yeah, go freaking. What are you doing? Go play it.
Okay, podcast is over. We're playing it.
Good night, everybody. No,
but in all seriousness,
let's go ahead and that was just our icebreaker question. So let's go ahead and get to the actual
the meat of the meat of the dinner.
The juicy, delectable chicken dinner. The steak.
I prefer steak, I think.
Yeah, whatever.
We're on a budget. We can only do chicken.
E3.
Yay!
Wrapped up? Is it over? I don't know.
It's done. It's done.
It's indeed done.
It is done. Is it Dunyan Rings?
It's Dunyan Rings.
Yeah. Is it Dunyan Rings?
That's a horrible pun, by the way.
Oh god, I love that. I love the pun though. I love puns. I just love puns in general.
And I'm stabbing you.
Yeah, well, make it count, bitch.
E3 is a well-done bacon double cheeseburger with a lot of grease.
Some people don't like well-done burgers, Abdullah. What about us non-well-done lovers? Some of us just want a good medium burger without cheese and more bacon,
bitch.
and maybe some onion rings on top of the burger.
So you're looking for nothing but Mario E3, huh? Is that what you're looking for?
Pretty much.
Nothing but Mario E3.
I think what he's really getting at is that we're relating everything in E3 to food. So that's gonna be,
Can we all agree that I am a hungry fat ass? Because I don't know why, but I'm maybe a little hungry.
I should have woken you up earlier. We could have gone over and got something to eat after your little nap.
I still have leftover Chinese. That's it, really? No, you have nothing to say to that, Don.
I'm just going to stab you later off mic. I don't need that many witnesses.
Don, everybody.
Hello.
All right. So before we get into the juicy, delectable Nintendo E3 press conference, let's do a little bit of a round table and try to get everybody's take on some of the other content that was displayed. Let's start with the one that I'm pretty sure none of us really want to talk about anyway, and that's the Microsoft
Get the hell out of this studio
press conference.
Get the hell out!
So I was looking at the Xbox stuff, and basically it just looks like, hey guys, we just took all the games that we presented last time and just, gave you what you wanted to see, which was Fable, which it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, but will it play good? No.
Come on, man. Give the developers some
No.
After one,
no,
they failed.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, after Fable 3, no. After, you know what? After Fable, basically after Fable 2, no.
Fable 2 wasn't even that good.
No. Peter Molyneux, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? What about you, Steph? Steph, are you like me? Did you even bother watching the Microsoft press conference?
I didn't. I usually am every time E3 comes around, like I wake up early to watch all the press conferences, and I'm like there as it happens. But the past 2 years, I haven't woken up in time for the Microsoft one because it's right in the morning, and I'm like, every time I wake up thinking Microsoft is finally going to get me, and they don't. I think my biggest problem, though, is that they're not aiming for someone in my demographic because I've never been an Xbox fan. I've never owned one. I've played one like my roommates at times, and I had fun, but I never grew up with any of their big franchises. And every time I see their press conferences, they're just basically, like Abe said, they're just showing you a trailer of something they already told you about and kind of being like, look, you can still shoot stuff more. Like,
so as far
that's not for me personally.
So
as far as Xbox One goes, okay, judging from like what happened last year, they fucking screwed every independent developer ever in the world. They just screwed them over.
Yeah, they did.
And so like you just lost a good portion of your Xbox market. So you don't have any of those people going to Xbox anymore.
Well, last year's when Sony kind of did that rebuttal joke video of them being able to share their games by hand physical game, like I just said, I was like, Sony, this is why I've stuck with you.
Well,
like,
there was a reason, and you showed it to me.
It's been very clear that Microsoft has been on a defensive pretty much ever since the Xbox One was released, and like ever since their debacle, which was over a year ago now, I guess.
Yeah.
Ever since then, they have been severely on the defensive. They've had to backtrack. They've had to restate. They've had to change their policies, their plans. Mm-hmm. Now they're releasing an Xbox One without a Kinect, and people are saying...
Oh, you don't need a gold membership to use their extra entertainment stuff like Netflix and all that?
Exactly, and people are saying that without the Kinect, the Xbox is actually running better because it's not lagging because of the Kinect. I mean, and now...
The Kinect is stupid. It's so
if you've not
stupid.
seen... For those watching at home, you might have seen the YouTube commercial that sometimes pops up with Paul Rudd?
I think
Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you don't realize, there's a commercial and it's been popping up on YouTube a lot, and it's I don't know where he's from, but maybe Breaking Bad.
From Breaking Bad.
Is it Breaking Bad?
Mm-hmm.
Television show. Cough.
Okay. He starts off. And I apologize for anyone who has an Xbox One at home, but you know what? That was your fault for having an Xbox One.
I'm gonna say.
Hold on. During the commercial, at the beginning of the commercial, he says Xbox on, and supposedly it's been turning people's Xbox on in the middle of the commercial.
That is hilarious.
Just that good.
That's wonderful.
So it's what it is it's stories like that are kind of fueling this Microsoft hate right now. And that's kind of really what it is perception, because if Microsoft hadn't had so much bad press already, a story like that would just be like humorous and people would actually look for the commercial to see if it happens. Now people are just using it as an excuse to slam Microsoft, which I kind of feel sorry for Microsoft, but again, they did kind of dig themselves in a hole for this.
Yeah. Like Microsoft's okay.
Let me stop you there. Let me stop you there, Abdullah, because I want to turn to Don. Don, did you even bother watching the Microsoft press conference?
I didn't watch any of the actual press conferences while E3 was going on, due to the fact that most of the time when E3 was going on, I was in class. So it's like, do I want a grade or do I want more video games? I need the grade. That's a bitch.
That was probably a very hard decision for you, Don. I gotta hand that to you.
So let me just make a quick talk about Microsoft, because I had a conversation about them the other day, and like with Windows crap and every stupid thing they do. If you think about it, Microsoft has a history of reading too far ahead into the future, and if you think about it, in 10, 20 years, our demographic is going to have like mini spawns of ourselves, and we're going to have like little tykes and shit running around. So we want a system that will play TV, we can play with our families, etc. And that's what they were trying to do, but today, which is not their demographic yet.
Yeah, so Nintendo's got that by a leash.
Yeah, but Nintendo has the family demographic by a leash. But the thing is, that's kind of what they were trying to do. Like, if you backtrack to Microsoft's history again, they were the first people to come up with tablets. But the thing was, the technology didn't exist, and it's just so slow and so shitty that nobody even wanted it until Apple just said, "Hey guys, here's a tablet that works well, and it might be expensive, but at least it works well." And then Microsoft's like, "Oh, but we did it first." But you sucked at it, so yeah. But so, now,
let's think about this, because I'm going to go around and ask everyone again. Let's say that nothing bad had ever come from Microsoft before the press conference, before E3. There was no bad news. There was no bad mistakes. They didn't do all this Xbox One debacle, and the Xbox One was, received well, and you had a favorable position of Microsoft. If that was the case, and you didn't have to think about Microsoft playing defensive, the stuff that was being revealed, like there's going to be a new Conker's game, and there's going to be a new Fable game, and honestly, I don't know much of the other games that are being released because that's all the ones I saw or could think of. Let's start with you, Abdullah. Would your opinion of Microsoft's E3 presence, would that be any different?
Okay, so hypothetically speaking, if Xbox was on top,
let's just say that in an alternate universe where the Xbox One was massively outselling the PS4 and the Wii U, which is absolutely the opposite situation. But if it was, and then based on Microsoft's E3 presence, would your current impression from them change?
I understand what you're talking about here. So like as far as if Microsoft had a positive presence, because like I have tested the Xbox One and had a chance to interact with the Kinect and everything with it. Yeah, I'll admit the Kinect is weird, and then you have the games on it that are on it now, plus Netflix and all this stuff and how it interacts with the entire interface. The operating system of the Xbox One is good. So like E3, if there wasn't any negative hype against them, I would say they did okay. I would say like Xbox would have honestly did okay because it really reinforced a lot of the brands that they have, like Fable, and they showed like trying to get into the platformer people back. They had something. Let's see, Ori and the Blind Forest.
So pretty much, it would be a pretty much par for the course, is what you would say.
It's on Mike. Honestly, as far as like Microsoft E3 goes, they did what they could with the crap that they had.
Okay. Steph, let's go to you. Again, you there's no controversy about Xbox or Microsoft possibly spying on you in your bedroom. There's no crazy stories about the NSA tapping into your Xbox One. There's no
I think she gets the idea.
No idea that games have to be 100% DRM to work, and then having the backtrack. None of that happens. Then you see the kind of games that are coming out and being shown at E3. How does that make you feel?
Well, like I said, my same feelings still kind of apply, just because it's not like that because really, I actually kind of forgot about all the shit from last year, because like it was funny when it happened. I was enjoying kind of all the jokes that came off last year, whereas this year, I kind of forgot about that. And it's really just a thing, like I said, I'm not in their demographic, and I know it by now. And like they revealed the new Conker game, and as a Rare fan, of course it's like something you want to see, but after a Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts, I know what it's going to be, and I don't have my hopes up, because it's not like when Nintendo, they reveal a long lost game that you used to love and they show that it's coming back. Like there's a sense of like epicness and the sense of like, oh, they're going to do it, and they're going to do it right. They're going to bring them back in glory. And like, I just feel like with this, it's like when I saw it, it's just like this half-assed, like, we're doing this because we are feeding off your nostalgia. And really, Microsoft, like I said, they didn't really do anything to offend me or do bad this year. Like, I agree with Abe. I think they did well with what they had, but for me, it's just, it's going to be a cold day in hell when I go to Microsoft, I guess.
God.
Let me interject, because I kind of feel like game consoles shouldn't need to target one demographic to be successful, and I think that may be like over idealistic of me, but
it's true. But I feel like in their demographic, to me, in my mind, Sony is right on par with them. and they have my vote any day of the week.
It's undeniable that game consoles have demographics. I just feel like there shouldn't be a need for them because there's plenty of games that have come out for the Xbox 360 and even the Xbox 360 exclusively that I've said, you know what, this is a pretty freaking good game. Like I will plug one game that I played for the Xbox 360 called Fuel. That it's a open world racing game that I had so much fun with, and it's the kind of game that anyone could really pick up and enjoy. And I don't feel like it absolutely it fits with the Microsoft demographic, but it doesn't mean that it's the all guns blazing, pow pow pow, pew pew pew, whatever.
Well, I mean, to reinforce like their gun stuff, like they for the Xbox One they announced the Halo whatever pack, which basically I think just has everything Halo in it, So, I mean, and Modern Warfare, they're the biggest selling franchises Xbox One has. And, it's that would
be true. That would be true on every system, unfortunately, except for the Wii U. Except for the Wii U. Let me tell you, a Wii U Call of Duty has already been done.
It's terrible.
Not a Wii U Call of Duty, but a Wii Call of Duty has already been done, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
Even for Call of Duty's level of expertise. Don, I don't even need to ask you, do I?
For what?
You don't even give a damn about Microsoft.
It's not that I don't give a damn about them. It's I played on the Xbox One. I didn't play with the Kinect because my buddy took his Kinect and literally chucked it out the window. When
That's
I see
wonderful.
He chucked it, I was the one that got to chuck it, go outside and beat it with a baseball bat until it stopped working.
Are you serious?
Yes. That's how much he hated the goddamn thing.
Screw you, NSA!
I didn't scream. I just got out of the pent-up rage and I felt it. But no, I played on an Xbox One. And the way I feel with an Xbox One is, it's Xbox 360 1.5. I feel like Microsoft didn't do anything when they came out with a new console. Yes, it looks prettier.
No, it doesn't. It's a fucking box.
I know!
It's a fucking black box.
It's a sleek box.
It is. No, it's I'm sorry. It's a well-designed box. I'm sorry. Xbox One.
It is hey. Some design artists got paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to design that Xbox
and then he got shot for it.
Honestly, it looks like someone just took like one of those wedding cake boxes, painted it black, and put it as a system.
Yeah, that's really what they did.
To be fair, and you guys can give me flag for it, but if we're gonna talk just the look of a console. I like the Xbox One's look and design better than like the PS4 that looks like it's always on a slant.
Honestly, I think with PS4's decision to make it slant, you already have this. Honestly, like carrying an Xbox One in comparison to carrying a PS4 is super portable, so it can go anywhere with you. So I don't give a damn what shape they made it. So I can put that shit in a backpack, run around, play it at someone's house, and bring it back to my house. Xbox One, like
that thing's bulky as shit.
Yeah, I'm putting that shit on my back and I'm breaking it.
It's fucking huge. I couldn't even fit in my backpack there.
It's not like there's so much crap on the inside the Xbox One that like the way they just made it, it's just like it's not that portable. It's
not. It's meant to sit in one spot and never move again.
Yeah, like I'm afraid I'm gonna run around with that thing.
And the Xbox One, it's not backwards compatible, yes?
Nope.
No.
None of the next gens were.
No. I mean, speaking of backwards compatibility issues.
I don't know. I never played on a Wii U, believe it or not.
Does anyone have a Wii U?
Nope.
Well,
we can't answer that question here.
All right, for the audience members at home, leave a comment below and let us know: does the Wii U support backwards compatibilue?
No, actually,
because in all honesty, I don't see why it shouldn't. Now let's continue on because we need to move away from Microsoft. I really want to move away from Microsoft.
So do I.
Let's move on to Sony. Let me start with Sony by saying I pretty much just threw my hands up in the air like, okay. I optimistic about some games. I was kind of meh about others. I mean, I have a PS4, so it's not like they have to sell me on the console anymore, which I feel like
That's really all E3 was trying to sell consoles between Microsoft and Xbox and Sony.
exactly.
That's all
And
they really were doing.
that's a
That's
lot.
what I felt.
That's a lot of the problem that the PS4 has had is that it doesn't have many games at all. So it's trying to sell consoles, and I think that's true of Microsoft as well. They're trying to sell the console by saying, "Look at the games that are going to be on it," and trying to focus on showing off the console rather than really caring about the games that they're making it for. Which I think that just comes with this year,
Really?
and not
Yeah.
all E3s are like that, but I think that's more prevalent this year.
With the PS4, and just the Sony press conference in general, like I think they did very well, and here's why. Remember how I was talking about Xbox One being too ahead of its time as to what it wanted to do? Sony started small, started up with the people who wanted games, and then they announced hey, if you're a casual person but you don't want a PS4, we have this alternative for you that's like 99, like $199, or I don't know, like $199, and you can connect that to your Sony TV. Oh, and by the way, if you have a Sony Smart TV, you can play games on that too. You just need a DualShock and you're fine. So it really tackled a lot of the interesting problems. I believe Sony really rocked it.
They did. They did for the non-hardcore gamer, for the very casual gamer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're going down the smartest path ever, and I think that's what really is selling Sony, because my dad saw some of this Sony stuff. He's like, "Hey Don, did you know that you could just get a PS4 controller and just hook it up to your TV and start playing games off of it?" "Yeah, I just found that out on E3. He's like, "Oh, so you were paying attention to that?" "When I got the chance to, Dad, yeah." He's like, "That's kind of awesome."
Yeah, no, it's a very impressive marketing strategy if you also think it that way. You're getting the casual people involved as well, where Xbox One just tried, "Hey guys, I'm gonna put all this shit in one giant little box, and I'm gonna hand it to you and hope you know how to use it well."
The Xbox One's going down the route of Dreamcast, if you think about it.
Honestly, they're
That's being too harsh on Dreamcast.
oh.
No,
No,
you're right.
oh,
That's the sad
that's
part. I'm
bad.
sorry, Sega. I love that console. I loved it to death. Bring back Hillbilly, please.
We'll talk about Dreamcast on another episode, but there's way too much conversation there for this topic.
I know.
Steph, your thoughts on the Sony press conference?
I wasn't left with too many great feelings either way, honestly. It was kind of, I don't know.
I completely understand what you're saying,
Like
but
they said, they were trying more so to sell the console, and I guess I wasn't the person who needed convincing. Really, I don't have any of the current gens right now. The most recent gen I have is PS3, which I use religiously still.
sure, yes, and
Um,
a lot of the things that
And
are
it's really just figuring out which one I want, and I guess that's what they're trying to kind of duke out this E3 is get those people to finally, because the games are starting to support the consoles. Because last year when they came out, all the lineup sucked. So I was like, okay, I wait. That's usually kind of my goal is I wait a year or two until I get them. And really, honestly, this year, I think the Wii U is winning out for me, but there were some cool...
Yeah, me too.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that
in a
later.
moment. We're gonna get to that in a moment. We're still talking Sony, but
Oh, yeah, no, I know. And, but I was saying with Sony, there were some cool game announcements, but it was mostly, more just... I like the fact that they're...
hello.
Yes?
Sorry. Could you go back and say whatever you said again because you cut out?
Oh, dear. Well, what I was saying is something that was pretty cool that Sony was doing is they're remastering Grim Fandango, which is a huge game. Really awesome, a Double Fine game. They're one of my favorites. I thought that was cool. I think they were the press conference. I don't remember if it was them or Microsoft. It was probably them that did the new Resident Evil game, or kind of a peek at that. And that was pretty
it was
sweet.
Sony.
Yeah, I believe it was them. It makes more sense, but it kind of looks like a return to kind of the old, less is more kind of system of you don't have as much ammo. It's kind of that scarier. It's less like a polished Hollywood thrill ride and more of this is actually, kind of like Resident Evil 0 or 4. So I'm pretty excited about that.
But I like polished Hollywood thrill rides.
Get the fuck out of the studio.
It's not a studio, it's my apartment.
So hey guys, so how about that Disney Infinity thing that they're trying to compete with Amiibo?
Get the hell out of here.
Get the fuck out of the studio.
I don't think... No. I will not devote any amount of serious time talking about Disney Infinity, except I will say this. It's inevitably, it's a part of the gaming culture or the gaming industry for there to be a game like Disney Infinity that is literally about making money. And it will always happen. But there's really no reason to care about it or even to spend time talking about it because the demographic they're aiming for is so completely out of the range of our audience.
I just loved, like, as I was watching the press conference, you know, they're like, hey guys, there's this cool Watch Dogs game that we finally finished, and then there's gonna be Destiny Alpha for the gamers, and then let's focus on casual gamers, and oh, by the way, we have Disney Infinity. That's it.
They really touched it in like a split second.
Here's the thing. This is the part of the podcast where anybody who's listening, I guarantee you, as soon as you said Disney Infinity, everybody just starts rolling their eyes.
And
like
probably fast forwarding till we stop. Please don't.
And that's the thing. It's not. It's like, what is a good example of what I'm trying to say?
Magic the Gathering. That's what it is. It's a collectible card game in a
Oh,
sense.
shut up. No Magic Gathering.
No, okay. Here's the thing. It's like Justin Bieber or Spice Girls. Let me finish.
Good, because I'm going to find where I put my sharp things at. Hey, look, a fork.
It is something that is completely and totally not directed at us. And I think that should be the obvious point when that thing popped up. Everyone should have caught on that this is mainly just for the sales and this is mainly just for the marketing. And it's not a serious part of the conference.
Yeah.
And I sincerely hope that Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo aren't actually putting any legitimate time or money or effort into it and are just showing it off to fulfill a contract negotiation. And that's all I can ever hope that the Disney Infinity is.
Okay, you know,
there's always think about there are plenty. If Disney Infinity is like here, oh my God, how can they possibly do this? There's plenty more games that are just like that.
From what I heard, Minecraft throughout all of E3 wasn't touched. It was one of the
Minecraft.
They had Minecraft booths for both Sony and Xbox One. Nobody touched them.
Because no one gives a shit anymore.
For ages.
I know.
Yes. It's because no one gives a shit anymore. It's like, hey guys, I have Minecraft for my phone. Hey guys, I have Minecraft for my PS4. Okay, we get it. Hey guys, I have Minecraft for my Xbox One. Minecraft is everywhere. No one cares about it anymore. It's not that no one cares about it. It's just like, why not just play it on your actual computer? Like, I can play it on my Mac and be fine.
Yeah.
I know.
You know?
It was just funny to watch a lot of the photos, and then you notice the Minecraft area, and it's completely empty.
Because you know what you're gonna get already. Like,
yeah,
it's just
nobody. It's not a surprise anymore.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue on. All right, here it is. It's the big flipping great deal. Nintendo's.
Yay!
Yeah! Shut up and take my money!
Nintendo finally
Let's just all gush for a moment
at
and how amazing
Nintendo's
of an idea it was that they gave William Street Studios and the team at Robot Chicken, they just gave them the show and be like, could you just make this awesome? Could you just make this awesome? And they were like, yeah, we could do that.
It was so wonderful.
I
love
it was.
You know, oh my God! Like when Mario was fighting like everybody else, it's like, so where's the villains? Like, so are you going to make me a game yet? It's just like, that's the biggest joke of this fucking convention is that we finally went in E3 and then Nintendo E3 without hyping Mario.
I know.
No,
holy shit!
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That is pretty incredible.
Like, you have no idea how long I've been waiting for them to do that.
I didn't think I was gonna be alive for it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, am I gonna be alive for the day Nintendo like finally gets their shit together and stops talking about Mario?
All right.
Oh, shit.
Steph, let me start with you. What was your favorite part about the Nintendo's press conference?
Actually, a lot of people are flipping their shit over this one. I thought it was good. I thought it was okay. I wasn't honestly mind blown by it, but I like Super Smash Bros., but that was like the focus of it. But I'm not, honestly not a huge fan of the series, so I was just kind of like, It was cool seeing a bit of Zelda. That was probably my favorite part because I'm a really big Zelda fan. But it wasn't. I guess it wasn't enough for me because I actually honestly miss the days of them actually being at the conference center and kind of having these crazy displays and people pop up. Like, it was really fun seeing the Robot Chicken, though. That was awesome. But I kind of missed, like, actually seeing them pop out with costumes and, like, stupid skit. And, like, it was corny, but I liked it. It was, like, a part of the environment. I felt like a lot of trailers that were cool. I'm excited for pretty much everything they showed. I'm actually most excited for Splatoon.
Yes!
Yes, Splatoon.
What the hell is with people in this game?
That game looks awesome!
Doesn't look that interesting.
I think it's just because it's a Nintendo presser that, yet again, it didn't focus on Mario, so that made it stand out, which is hilarious. It stood out by the fact it didn't show him and his little mustache, hogging the screen.
Yeah, Splatoon is interesting because if you don't know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But the interesting thing about this Splatoon is that the developers who are working on it are supposedly like the Miyamoto proteges, who are basically the ones that who Miyamoto picked out and said, whatever you want to work on, go for it.
Well, I feel like it's exciting because for Nintendo, their company is based on icons and iconic characters, and they just keep bringing them back. So they cycle them out every year. One year it's the year of Luigi, then it's Donkey Kong, then it's Zelda, And I feel it was fun to see something that was new, that wasn't just like a fucking me game. That's like, it's bland and generic and make it yourself. And it's like, I like the fact that they're like, no, it's not going to be about like stupid mini games. It's going to be about a game that looks like it can have like a future. It can spread. It has characters that are specific and unique, and I think that's exciting. I think it's what Nintendo fans want, because it's, as much as getting new games in your favorite series from your childhood is awesome, it's also about expanding that library so you have something to look forward to other than a rehash of Mario or a rehash of Zelda.
Thank you.
I have to agree with everything that Steph just said. Okay, I have not owned a Nintendo product since the GameCube, and the most recent product I own is the 3DS, because for a while, for Nintendo, the 3DS was the lifeblood of Nintendo because of the failure of Wii U. And the fact that, this is why I'm happy about, no Mario hype, is, they're introducing new franchises that will basically be like a steroid injection into the Nintendo market, and it's just it shows most importantly, I think what E3 showed Nintendo lovers is Nintendo is still alive. They're still working on stuff. They haven't died yet. They're not working on bullshit Mario games anymore. They're actually trying to
pull their heads out of their ass and make something.
Exactly. They're it's not just, hey, look, Mario blows bubbles now. Isn't that great? It's not that anymore. It's more like, hey guys, we have Splatoon. Hey guys, we have some interesting things with Super Smash Brothers where you can make a Mii and fight with your other characters. And the thing I'm most excited about Nintendo E3 is, and this is why I brought up Infinity earlier, is Amiibo. That looks kind of cool. It's what they're doing with it. The fact that each figure has a specific level, and depending on what games you put him in, he'll learn different things. And Steph and I actually had a conversation about this, and as to why I'm excited about Amiibo is because it's introducing individualized gameplay with stuff that exists in real life, which I think will eventually lead to an online service where you can make your own Amiibo character and play him in games. Because that will...
Steph, maybe you can help me, because from watching the Nintendo's press conference, I couldn't figure out the thing about this amiibo. Is it based like it's not just a toy for added boosts into the game. They kind of hinted at a lot of open ideas that they could do with it. Was there anything like that was not said in the press conference that you know of that these things can do? Can they be used?
Well,
like
the big thing
one thing I was wondering, which would be super cool if it could these things be used as save data? Like, could this be the return of memory cards, but like not like utilized better than say, memory cards?
Well, I think it's kind of a similar function as a memory card. It's definitely taking off the Skylander and Disney Infinity success of the figure franchise, which I didn't think would work at first because I was like, oh, who's gonna want to buy these really expensive figures just to pay more in game? But I guess it's a model similar to MMOs where it's like at first you're like, why would you pay for all this extra stuff when you already own the game? But I think it's that it kind of draws on the fact that a lot of people who play games, they have like this collector tendency and this tendency. So I feel in a way, even though the press conference is trying to show that like, oh, it's about like gameplay and data, I also do feel there is honestly a part of it that's just, I want to collect the figures. They look cool. I want to have all of these things. It's a similar thing to like Pokemon where you're like, you want them all. Like just, it's the sake of collecting things, and they're kind of drawing on that. But they also add the fact that there's kind of the two-way stream between the character, which is cool, where, if you're playing Smash Bros, I think it's kind of silly how they kind of tried to put that as the power-up of like, oh, I can put Mario in the game by putting him on the stand. Like, oh, great. But like, it's cool, but I think the part that makes Amiibo interesting is really like the saving of the data and making your character unique to you. I think that's the part that's exciting, because it's not just like a general Mario that everyone has, so you could just like borrow your friends and use it. I think it's cool that, and also a smart business move on their part, that it's unique to you. So if your friend uses it, it's not going to be the same for everybody. Your Mario figures different than someone else.
I think Amiibo is. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I can agree with that, but my feeling on it is that it's one of those things that, much like the Wii and the Wii U, it's really only going to be good if it's utilized.
You know what?
And I have to give Nintendo at least a tiny bit of flack that the peripheral ideas they come out with are great, but only when they're utilized correctly. And a lot of times, like I know
that's true with almost any company.
That's true with any company.
Well, no, I think
yes,
especially
but let's be honest. Microsoft and Sony jumped on the bandwagon when it came to the PS Move and the Kinect, because obviously the Wii did it first.
But Sony did it first with that iToy thing that they had.
That doesn't count. Nobody counts the iToy for anything.
I agree. The iToy's kind of dumb.
Fair enough.
But here's
hated
the thing. When I first heard, let's go back and look at the Wii, because that was like the very first thing that Nintendo said, oh, look at this, and everyone was like, oh, what is it? And everyone was like playing with it, and everyone was like, okay, I guess I can see how this could be good. And true, some games, and maybe more now than before, have used the peripheral of the Wii's nunchucks to good benefit, but there have also been plenty of games that could have easily been made without any kind of motion gameplay.
And I actually agree with you a lot on that, because that was my big problem with the Wii, was that you had these nunchucks that were supposed to be awesome. You're supposed to like hack and slash like Link and stuff. It was going to be great. And when it came to actually pulling it off, it didn't really feel satisfying. A lot of the time, people just use the GameCube controller plug-in to play most of their games, except for pretty much Super Mario Galaxy and Sonic Colors were actually the two games I feel the Wiimote was helpful with. But for the most part, it wasn't accessed that well. So like with the Wii U, I love the technology, but that's why it didn't impress me off the bat, because they didn't have anything to back it up. They had mini games that were kind of like demos, and it looked like stuff they would make just to test the system for themselves, not to release to the public. And so with the Amiibo, I kind of have the same concerns as you do, because it'll be awesome if it works great. I would love it. And something for other than not just Smash Bros, but for games across the board, especially if Zelda's going to be open world, if you could somehow incorporate more figures into that, that would be amazing. But unless it is utilized in a way that isn't just like, look, you can bring, this other character into Brawl, I'm not going to be amused, honestly.
Yeah, I know that some people are. It's interesting because if they're just well designed toys. I know I was watching the Super Best Friends do a commentary on the press conference, and they were reasonably hyped about just buying the figures for the collectible of the figures themselves. So that aside, I can agree. Don, let me ask you.
I'm gonna let Abdullah go first because he's been trying to say something for like the last 3 minutes.
Oh, let me ask you this first, and I'll let Abdullah comment, because I really haven't had a chance to ask you about the press conference yet. So in the past, Nintendo has basically been selling out Mario for the past year or so, with new Super Mario Brothers Wii, new Super Mario Brothers Wii U.
We got that general idea. We've covered that.
Do you feel like this press conference is the indication that Nintendo is going to change their company policy on what the direction they're going for as a company? Or do you feel like this is just a short-lived, they're going to put out these games, but by this time next year, it's back to the Mario cash cow?
I personally think that Nintendo is finally realizing that they may need a slight change of brand. Yes, Mario has done them justice since Mario's become that iconic character back for them. But at the exact same time, times are changing, and Nintendo finally needs to realize that, we may need to branch out a little bit more other than our normal platformers or our simple cash cows that we have. That's the one thing that Splatoon really, drew me in for it. Is it's a third-person over-the-shoulder shooter that's meant to be fun, non-violent, and entertaining.
I can guess. I can absolutely give you credit. Give you and them
Let him
credit.
talk, man.
He can wait. Wait. I'm sorry, Abdullah. I'll give you a moment.
Oh no! I'm laughing at the non-violent split first-person shooter.
Third-person over-the-shoulder shooter.
That is definitely interesting. So, Don, of the press conference, in the Nintendo press conference, what game are you most excited for?
Monster Hunter 4.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
And to be honest, I've never gotten into the Monster Hunter series myself, but I guess I can understand. Ever since Monster Hunter pretty much became a thing for Don,
It's been a thing for me since PS2.
Apparently, every game we've ever talked about, at one point, Don's like, it's too much like Monster Hunter, or it's not enough like Monster Hunter. And I keep scratching my head like, what does this game have anything to... Like, for example, we were talking about Stomping Land, the new early access game on PC, which is basically Rust survival MMO with dinosaurs. And I was talking to Don, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, Don's just like, yeah, but it's a little too much like Monster Hunter. And I just kind of threw my arms like it has absolutely nothing to do with Monster Hunter. You don't even hunt monsters. You run from them.
Well, maybe that's what they're doing wrong.
No, because you should have been hunting.
All right, Abdullah, what did you want to say in response to Don?
That I wanted to say that Don is absolutely right with Nintendo, with E3, this Nintendo E3, it really, you can the difference between someone who does the research and someone who doesn't do the research is that when someone does the research and makes something, that in a weird way that communicates to the product they're trying to sell. And with I hate to reference my book, but with making my book, I did a lot of research on fauna, plant life, etc., and really put a lot of the knowledge I researched into these weird fictional plants that that surrounded this world. And it really communicated through. With Nintendo's E3, like you could tell, like they did the marketing research. They did their homework this year. Like
they did a lot of homework this year.
Yeah, they did a lot of homework because if you think like, and I believe I had this conversation with you before, Matt, that or Stephanie, whoever I had this conversation with is one of you two, but that when the Wii U came out, I had no idea what the fuck that was.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, I had no idea what it was. I was like, what the hell is a Wii U?
I really thought it was just an extra peripheral for the Wii. To be perfectly
Exactly.
honest.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
really what I thought about what it was.
I thought it was like, okay, I actually did want to bring this up. Doesn't the Wii U look like the Sega handheld system, the Genesis?
You mean the Sega
Game Gear?
Yeah, Game Gear.
Game Gear. There we go. Not the Genesis.
It does. It really does.
Doesn't it?
I
Doesn't
can
it?
see that. I guess I can see that. Yeah.
But anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is like the marketing done with Wii U was so bad because I didn't even know it was a separate system until like a few months ago. Someone finally just said the Wii U is definitely another system, and I looked it up and like, holy shit, it is. It looks the same. It looks the same. It acts the same. The only difference is Nintendo finally just said, hey, we're going to make it look prettier. And
we got rid of the nunchucks.
And we got rid of the nunchucks.
I think the point is that, and you know what, if you want to correct me if you think I'm wrong, but the Wii U was basically Nintendo saying, oh crap, all these games use HDMI cables and we're still the only putzes that use component cables. We really need to do something about this.
I can partially agree with that statement. That like when the Wii U came out, oh god, this was my favorite thing about Wii U, and was that you were breaking more windows than you were actually playing the game.
Yeah.
And
I forgot about that.
You remember that? Like you were breaking more windows than you were playing the game. People missed handheld games, and people missed the controller. And you're right. You know, oh crap, everyone's using HD. Oh crap, other systems aren't breaking windows. Maybe we should do that too.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry. For me and anyone else at home who doesn't understand what you're saying, what do you mean by breaking windows?
Nobody used that goddamn strap and they were flailing their arms around like a bat out of hell.
Oh, you mean like
Thank
breaking windows legitimately?
Yes!
Because you're
Yes, like
flinging
legitimately
nunchucks around
breaking
and you throw it into a
windows.
window.
Dude, my sister almost broke a window.
You have
when
to be.
she got a Wii.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. If any of you have actually done this, I'm sorry, but you have to be some kind of moron to fling a nunchuck around.
But no. Here's the thing. You know, honestly, I would have done that too because though I'm a gamer who's like really reactive, and when I get into something, like I get into it, and so like if I'm using the nunchuck, I'm gonna use it like very violently. Use it if I'm like trying to kill an enemy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna eventually like that thing's gonna come off my wrist and it's gonna hit someone or something.
It's gonna come off your wrist. Nobody used to strap
It's
that
gonna
first.
come off your wrist. Like, does anyone know the game Sports Friends? It's an indie game.
Yes, I've played it.
Yes.
Okay. Simon Joust. The Joust game. Basically, they were talking about an interview that originally it was in a game jam that they made the game for like the Wii remote, and when they were testing it with the Wiimote, there was a little incident where the Wiimote flew off someone's hand, and guess what it did?
Broke a window?
It broke a window.
Yeah. Here's the thing. When I first started playing with the Wii and the nunchuck controls, I realized very quickly, you don't need to waggle your arm all around like you're like Legend of Zelda-ing and you have to slay a dragon. If you want to swing your sword, you just be like a little dingle dingle, dingle 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 dingle, dingle dingle.
But that's not fun.
Exactly.
It's not fun.
That's the part. Is like if you're gonna be Link, you got to do it right. You can't have
You
fast
gotta
in the hero of
scream at the
time.
top of your lung. You gotta piss off your neighbors, and you gotta break shit.
Oh, no, and the best
That
part
would be
is-
interesting to play Twilight Princess.
I have Skyward Sword and the actual appropriate remote with it, where the sword will follow all your motions to the letter.
Yes, I do too.
And see, if you put some empty vases in your house, I mean, you're gonna be just like
Maybe no
Link.
beer
You're
bottles.
I mean, it's fitting. I mean, you could really play the part if you want to.
There's a bunch in the garbage can. We'll pick them out.
I was just saying there are no beer bottles around here, and Don's like, we can dig them out of the trash. Okay.
It's not a trash, rinse them out and watch you smash them with a Wii remote.
But yeah,
Oh, God.
I never got into a position where I felt like I was gonna chuck a controller out the window.
And that's why you're
Hey,
not
Don.
a passionate gamer.
Hey Don, you wanna start a training camp for how to use the Wiimote properly?
Damn right!
Okay, in order to strike your sword, you just the flick of the wrist. Flick of the wrist. No, you are using your entire body. Bad. Bad.
See, there
You're
needs to be
not-
like.
Also,
like
if you're not wearing your strap, for the love of God, the people who start wearing not wearing that strap, I'm getting the crowbar. We all remember Jimmy last year.
All right, it's
Yeah, there
time.
needs to be like a campaign, kind of like Click It or Ticket, but for like the wrist strap, being
Click
like,
it again.
lock it or block it. Like,
All
you
right.
better have that wrist strap on, or else you're getting a ticket. Like,
Let's play my favorite game. What kind of game using the Wii's nunchuck controls can you imagine that has not been made yet? Abdullah, go.
Cock of Duty.
What?
Cock of Duty.
Cock of Duty? Oh, well, probably not something that would be released on Nintendo officially, but definitely something I could see happening. Honestly, many times I played Mario Party on the Wii and had many instances where I'm thinking, this seems oddly familiar.
Oh God.
What?
You lonely bastard.
It's so obvious!
I know.
You know. Actually, there is something I wanted to talk about with PS4's press conference.
We'll get to that in 1 second.
Okay,
Steph,
yeah, sure, it's fine.
Steph,
yeah.
game using the Wii's nunchuck peripherals that has never been done before. Go.
Drunken Night in Vegas 2 Hooker's Revenge.
Who do you play as? Who's the main character? What's my motivation?
Well, see, what I was thinking was you would be the guy who has Drunken Night in Vegas. You wake up, you break your hotel, so you can really get some flailing action in there.
So you're flailing around, would you use the nunchuck controls to like grab things to look for your wallet keys, your
Yeah.
knock over bombs?
Yeah, you could use it as a shovel to dig ditch for, you have to bury the hooker. It would be getting to, like, Nintendo's more mature audience. It's the audience they need.
Absolutely.
It's-
Done. Game using the Wii's nunchuck controls that has never been done before. Go.
La Chancla.
Oh my god!
So everyone knows, I'm Cuban and I know that shit.
For those of you who don't know what La Chancla is, it is literally the Spanish word for slipper.
The sandal.
The sandal. Which is apparently it is
Every
a human...
every Hispanic mother's proficient weapon. They can hook that sucker around corners and still hit their target. It'll weave between targets.
Wait, does anyone remember that game from the PS1 that was like basically follow all these dance commands and like it was like
Parappa
Parappa the Rapper?
No, it's is it Path of the Rapper?
Yeah, Parappa
Well,
the
there was
Rapper.
that one, then there was another one that was like an offshoot of it.
It was like
I don't know her name. Nobody care about that deer anyways.
but like I would
Parappa the Rapper with a deer and a guitar.
what if there was a game? What if there was a game where like you're learning how to slap someone across the face with the Wiimote? And this is just a game to train people how to slap people.
The backhand.
The backhand.
The back... Don
I practiced that in real life.
Don has a lot of
In
philosophies.
Drunken Night in Vegas.
Don could practically write a short novel about...
Short novel, shit. I could write backhand for dummies and then front hand for dummies.
He has a philosophy about, like, do I use the palm, the back of the hand? Do I use my right hand, my left hand? At what point do I just say screw it and pick up the baseball bat?
Don, I want to collaborate with you one day and actually make a little booklet about how to slap people across the face.
It's not just women, it's idiots in general.
I said people, not women.
Oh, I thought you said women for some weird reason.
No, I said
Don,
people.
you're
Guys are
such a
dumb too.
sexist asshole.
I'm not a
Backhand
sexist
is
asshole. I only hit women when they threaten to stab me.
All right, let me say a Wii game with the nunchuck peripherals that has never been done before that I would totally want to see.
Bullet Chancla?
No, actually, Spider-Man.
Oh.
I would. That's something I feel like has not actually been tapped into, and I wonder if it's because someone tried to do it and they said this actually sucks.
You know,
they
if you
tried
think about
and
it,
said
if you
sucked.
if you think about the way you'd use the Wiimote, like you'd probably start having like holes in your ceiling and you know, broken TV, broken window, because like you'd have to turn around and sling backwards or something.
Bruce,
I
Bruce
think it would work.
testicles.
I would think it would work because the Wii
No.
can detect if you're moving back and forth with the remotes. I think if you just did like a back and forth motion from left to right, I mean, Don can see what I'm doing, but if you
He's masturbating.
no, but if you did like like slaloming or not slaloming, cross country skiing, there you go, cross country
Jackass.
skiing with like going back and forth, I think that would work, and I'm surprised that's not been done yet. But Abdullah, you wanted to say something about the Nintendo?
No, actually, I wanted to say something interesting about Sony and PS4. I've noticed
What's that?
that everyone remembers Steambox and what that is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. For people who don't know, Steambox is Steam's attempt at making an operating system so people can, make their own machines and basically use it as a console. The PS4 has become the better Steambox. Because
I would argue against that only because the Steam box is cheaper. And
only if you want it to be. I mean, that really just depends. I mean, like, the reason why I say that in my argument for that is because there's a lot of independent developers who are utilizing the Sony technology of the speaker and the controller, the little touchpad on the controller, like the system itself. Like, I'm such a PS4 fan right now, is just so interactive with how people use the machine that it would be almost a sin to not make the game for it.
Well, the only thing I would push back on that is that the Steam box and the Steam OS, I think that's for a completely different demographic because the Steam OS can be put on anything. You can put it on your own computer. It does not require you to have like a separate designated computer. In fact, I think you can actually partition part of your Windows hard drive to be the Steam OS and have that run separately from your Windows programming, which personally I don't see any reason to do that, but that's because like I know how to use my computer efficiently and I don't need a Steam OS. But I think the target demographic of the Steam OS is for people who want to get into PC gaming but don't want to mess with Windows, personal computers, that kind of
junk. Yeah, but then you present this. Like, I remember this. I think this was Electronic Expo, CES. There we go. And they were presenting like the different concepts from like Alienware and like a ton of different companies. And I'm gonna have you guys guess what the price range was of each one.
I'm gonna guess about $1,000 to $1,200.
Exactly. How much does a PS4 cost?
No, like half that, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what the consumer is eventually going to see, is like, they're just going to see a price tag and they're going to say, oh, a PS4 is this, and I can play all my console games.
Right.
And I'm totally going to get that, and then I can buy games. And at the end of the day, if you're an independent gamer and you're like really want to just play independent games, I'm not saying Steam is like, it's not like a great option. It's amazing. I love Steam. But
Steam and independent games Steam pretty much has a monopoly on independent games right now. Sony, I feel like they made like a push for independent games at E3. I think they will need to go a very long way to get to Steam's level of indie game integration.
Yeah, they are.
At the same time,
but the thing they're getting there.
I will push back against Steam and say they need to do a better job of controlling their content and doing a better job at weeding out things that are either like backlog catalogs of other game developers or some other, like this is, again, it's just a completely different conversation for another video or a different conversation.
I agree, but it was just something I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because the Steam box was supposed to be a contender. It was supposed to be a new console that people could get into, but I think it's not easy to sell because all it is that the Steam box is Steam saying, we'll help you build a computer that's designed specifically for you to be able to play your games on Steam for your home. And for most people who have Steam, it's redundant. And it's the only people it really targets are for the people who don't use Steam, and that's very few people outside of their network.
Mm.
So if Steam Box wants to become a thing, I feel like they've got to push it in ways that in their marketing that they would not normally push.
Agreed.
Because right now it's very easy for Steam to put something up on Steam and say, look, it's Steam, and everyone on Steam's like, ooh, it's Steam, we're so pretty. But now they're trying to push Steam for people who have never even heard of Steam or who are specifically only console gamers who want to get into PC gaming. And I feel like that's a very small demographic. I sincerely hope that Steam isn't sinking a lot of money into this because I don't feel like it's going to pay off in the end.
No, I completely agree. Like, I completely agree with that statement that, you know, they're going to sink money into Steambox and they're not going to get anything out of it. Primarily because this is why I think PS4 is going to eventually win. People who play console games do not like building their own machines.
Yeah,
That's true.
Fair enough.
That's really true.
That's why I think
I am a console gamer over a PC gamer. It's just for sake of time and money and just like strategy. Like it's cool. It's something I've always admired in other gamers, like especially, you know, PC gamers, that they build their system, they take care of it, you know, update it. But, you know, for someone like me, like I love video games. You know, I spend a lot of time thinking about it and, you know, doing artwork around it, but it's tough when you get to a certain point in your life and you can't really devote that much time. You know, you just want to play the games and you just want to get it. You want that instant gratification in a sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, with as cool as a concept it is to kind of your personalized Steam box kind of concept, it's just too difficult, and you can already do that with your PC. Like you can get your Steam.
Again, it goes right back to the idea that if you have Steam and you play games on your computer, that's great. I personally like playing games on my computer more than I do on console. But
I'm mixed, really.
I'm just weird like that. But for someone like me, like the big picture from Steam and Steam Box and Steam OS, none of those things target me at all. And as much as I like to say, oh, that sounds great, the fact is everything that is has absolutely nothing to appeal to me because I already have it. When I play games, I can put it on my big screen TV that's connected to my computer, and I can play the games right from my Windows OS. I don't need big picture. And so it doesn't do anything for me that my computer doesn't already do.
Right.
And that's why I think, you know, like I said, you know, that's why I said PS4 is a better Steam box than Steam box.
I guess I can see that.
I can agree with him there, yeah.
However, we're going to end on this point. Let me try to shift the conversation to more around indie games. There is a problem I've noticed, and this is, I think, more prevalent in indie horror games than indie games in general. But I think this kind of falls into any indie game as a problem that could become more of a problem. Is the draw of an indie game is it's a game for me. It's a game that is it's interesting, it's unique, it's maybe quirky, it's not usual, it's entertaining, but it should still have a price that matches the entertainment value that it's bringing.
I know why you brought this up.
Why did he bring this up, Don?
Well, recently, and among Let's Players specifically, recently, we've noticed a number of indie games, like, and I'll give you some examples: Daylight, Among the Sleep, Slender the Arrival, Lily Child of Geos. Oh my God, Lily Child of Geos. There are a lot of these games that are indie games. Like, they're very legitimately indie games. And yeah, they are priced much less than a full $60 or $70 game. But let me give you an example. Among the Sleep, which had a long development cycle, had a huge Kickstarter, which brought in lots of money, and cost $20, is only an hour and a half long.
Yeah, that was my
Wait,
problem with
what?
that.
Yes, Among the Sleep, the horror game where you play as a baby. It's legitimately, even taking your very dear sweet time, that game will not take you longer than 2 hours to completely defeat.
Is
And
that like?
There's no branching storylines. There's no alternate endings. There's no commentary. There's no extra dialogue. There's no extra scenes. There's nothing additional that comes with the game, and you can finish everything in it in an hour and a half.
Wow, you legitimately answered my question was going to be, so like no DLC, no nothing,
No.
and a fucking Kickstarter to move nations, and it just gave you an hour and a half of gameplay. Wow, that's really shitty.
Yeah.
That's like, oh,
And that's where in
disappointing.
Daylight and Slender the Arrival and a lot of other indie horror games and a lot of and to be fair, a lot of indie games in general I'm worried that they're going down that path where they're putting a higher price tag than the value. And I think this is maybe more of a conversation for another time, because this kind of gets into the conversation of is how do video games
are priced or
are
whatever.
priced versus how movies are priced, and what's the relation between the development cycle and the price and cost and the conversation about movies versus an indie game, and the parallels that you can draw between them, and is it equal, is it not equal? I think that's more of a conversation for another time. But
And
wanted
when
to
you do
mention-
have that conversation, I would love to be a part of it, because that's a really big problem.
maybe
today.
another time, but for now we are all out of time. We have actually gone a bit over time.
Wow.
That's fine. It's the E3 special. We're
It's
allowed
okay.
to.
There was a lot of things to talk about, but
Yeah.
we certainly hope that everyone at home enjoyed the show. We want to thank Abdullah Kassem. Am I pronouncing your name right?
Absolutely not.
I thought it was
Ah!
Abdallah. Am I even close to it, Abdallah?
Actually, you're pretty damn close.
Damn right.
Wow,
But
okay.
But Matt, you're
Why didn't you correct me earlier?
Because it's hilarious.
Oh!
I know how to answer this, Abdallah. He gave no fucks.
No! Don't make me feel like a bad person.
Okay,
If
you
he
want to know how to pronounce my
cared, he
last
would've
name?
corrected you.
I feel like one of these like southern racist, like completely culturally insensitive people. Like,
Wait, you're not?
oh,
Can't be friends.
hey, are you Abdullah Kassem?
Well, I guess I'll have to figure out the next episode that I'm in. You'll figure out how to pronounce my name, because
Well,
I sure as hell know.
would you tell the people at home how to pronounce your name? Because I'm sure they'd like to know.
I don't know. I like the mystery, but
As always, I'd like to thank Steph and Don for joining me again.
Not a problem, buddy. Not a problem.
That's kind of a problem. No.
you're a terrible person and nobody likes you.
Oh,
Who was that
Don't cry.
directed to, me or Drummy? Because I'm used to that.
it's
No, I
me.
was actually directed at Drummy, but
It sucks to be you, buddy.
Yeah.
I actually like you, Don. You're good. I like you.
You don't know me that well yet.
Well, until our next episode, you can leave a like or comment below if you enjoyed the episode. And as always, you can subscribe for more. Until next time, good night, everybody.
Yeah.